Hi, everybody. I'm Cheryl for Movieguide, and this is Coffee and Conversation with Sight and Sound.
Excited to be here.
Thanks for joining us. Sight and Sound theaters bring true stories from the Bible to life for millions of people every year. To celebrate its 30th anniversary of Noah on Stage, Noah Live sails into theaters nationwide September 18th. Katie, your grandparents founded Sight and Sound nearly 50 years ago. What does it mean to you to see Noah go from the theater to the big screen?
Yeah, this is one that feels incredibly special to us because Noah, we like to say it a little bit tongue in cheek, but is our flagship show in many ways. But, up until about 30 years ago, we were mostly doing review style shows until my grandpa had the idea to do the story of Noah. He wanted to do a show that included a lot of animals. And I still remember being a kid on premiere night, standing in the theater, not even able to believe it myself, all of these animals on stage. And I think as a family that night, we all kind of gathered afterwards and had this moment of like, this is what we're called to do, like bringing the Bible to life on stage. That's who we are. And we've never looked back. We've been doing Bible stories ever since. And so to have Noah on stage 30 years later, have it resonate with audiences louder than ever, and now be able to take it into movie theaters is just incredibly, incredibly meaningful for us.
Katie, my family has been going to Sight and Sound productions for years, and we just love it. For those who have not experienced a Sight and Sound production, what can they expect with Noah?
Yeah, so Noah, every Sight and Sound show, I'll start there. Every Sight and Sound show is known for bringing the Bible to life in a really big, spectacular way. So we have animals that run up and down the aisles, a cast of 50. Our set pieces, especially Noah, go 40 feet tall, and you are really taken back in time sitting in the heart of the story. For Noah in particular, we have more animals than ever. We have 100 live animals on stage in this show and 100 animatronic animals in the arc as well. And so it is a thread throughout the show from start to finish. And it is just a really powerful message as well.
I love Sight and Sound's dedication to authenticity. Talk about the process of making a production come to life and adhering to the Bible.
Yeah, so a show here at Sight and Sound takes about 4 years to produce, from the time we really spend time in prayer, sensing what the Lord wants us to, what story He wants us to tell next. Our story and design team then kind of takes a whole period of time to be diving into scripture, doing research, and really seeking the Lord on not just, the story that we want to tell, but what message does He really want to bring out in the show. And then from there, we design, we build, we construct, we bring the show to stage and have months of rehearsals to get everything, every moment just right. For a show like Noah, it's a little bit unique because it is 30 years old. It has been on stage before, but it had been a while since it had been on stage. And so when we knew we were going to bring it back, we kind of sat down and redid the process again to say, Lord, like what message do you want us to really bring in this new era of Noah? And so while the core parts of the show are still there and the message of salvation is there as strong as ever, there's also this new, fresh, beautiful unfolding of the story of God's faithfulness and Noah's faithfulness. And as Noah was faithful to the Lord, he was faithful back to Noah. And it just unfolds in a really beautiful way that makes the show feel fresh and new and different, but still with like all of the same key moments that we've all loved for all of these years.
Yeah, it's truly amazing that 5 million people have seen Noah in your theaters. And the story of Noah hasn't changed. But how has the production changed since your first production of Noah nearly 30 years ago?
Yeah. I mean, technology is one of the biggest ones. Technology has come a long way. And we, even just the tightness, I'll say, of like our story development, I think has come a long way as well. And so when we brought the show back to stage this year, we re-recorded the entire soundtrack with a live orchestra in Nashville. We added a few songs. We updated some of the older ones. We added some new animals that haven't been in the show before. And we've added a few different scenes and new characters as well. And so it was fun to just see a fresh take on this really beloved story, with all of the new technology and opportunities that we have now that we didn't necessarily have 30 years ago.
Yeah. Noah and the Ark is one of the first stories we learn as children. And how is Noah's story from the past still relevant here today in our present?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things, I think one of my favorite things about this show is the way that salvation is woven throughout the entire way. You see Noah as he is charged to build the ark. And I think sometimes we forget that, God spoke to Noah, and as far as we know, he didn't speak to him again until they got on the ark. And experts believe that was nearly 100 years. And so for 100 years, Noah was dedicated and he was, faithful to the daily task of building this ark. But while he was doing that, the way that they represent his character on stage is that he was also faithful to the heart of God. And so it says in the Bible that Noah was the last righteous man on earth at the time. And so you watch him having this evangelistic heart towards his neighbors. He is reaching out to them. He is talking to them about the Lord. He's loving them and serving them. And watching him do that as he's fulfilling the work God called him to, you realize that that's the real work at hand, was him trying to compel the people he loved to join them on the ark. And so the way that that is threaded through the whole story is just incredibly powerful, and actually was really convicting to me, to be honest, to be like, right, I'm doing this work at hand, but the real work is with, the people I'm interacting with on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's kind of like how are we in the waiting
Yeah,
period. Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
Katie, in closing, you reach 30 million people in your theaters, 175 countries around the world online, and now feature films. Wow, that's so exciting. When the audience walks out of your live theater or movie theater, what do you hope they take with them?
Yeah, we live, I think, right now in such a hope-hungry world, a hope-hungry society. And our deepest prayer is that those that come and experience these stories not only see themselves reflected in the characters on stage, but see the heart of God reflected back to them and who they are. And so that as they're walking out, that they know that hope can be found in Jesus, that there is a surety in the midst of a very unsure world, and that the hope that we have can be theirs too. That's our hope at the end of every show.